Hello and welcome to Garblag Games on YouTube Live. I'm Pete, producer here at Garblag Games, and I am on my own this evening, chatting to you guys about what is going on with Garblag, the channel, and all the other wonderful things. Normally, this would be a pre-filming chat for one of our shows. Currently on a Thursday, we're filming Star Trek Adventures and alternating with Flint and Steel. Now, unfortunately, tonight, Adam is ill. Adam is our games master for Star Trek Adventures, our show Star Trek Morpheus. So, unfortunately, he's unable to make it. Hey, Nicholas. Hello. Welcome to YouTube Live here with Garblag Games. Thanks for joining us. I was just saying that, unfortunately... Oh, hey, Pat. How you doing? Good to see you. Unfortunately, Adam is not well and won't be joining us this evening, and therefore our Star Trek game will not be starting. Hey, D6 Evil Men. Good to see you, guy. But I'm still here. I still wanted to do a live show. It's becoming a bit of a thing now that I've kind of sorted it out. And hopefully the sound is good. Tell me if the sound is good, and hopefully you can see me okay. So that's good. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading the comments from you guys, the live chat. Please do chat with me. It's going to be just me tonight, I think, unless one of the Flint and Steel. Yes, Adam, absolutely. So I'm going to get stuck into the wine. Nice bottle of wine I got for my birthday, which was the other day. So I'm just going to pour some of that. There we go. Yes, unfortunately, Adam is not well. Oh, cool. Thank you, Adam. Jinxio, hello. Thank you. Welcome. Yes, Adam points out something that I was going to get into in a little bit, but I may as well talk about it right now. Recently, I was invited on to the Old World podcast. Great bunch of guys. Lance, Matt, Steve. We had a good chat about Warhammer. Hey, Lance. Hello. Lance there from the Old World podcast. Probably on his lunch break somewhere in Middle America. We had a great chat. We talked about character conversion on their latest episode, episode 14, which is now available on their website. Lance, if you want to put a link in the chat there, that's great. Let the guys know where they can see it. Adam's already listened to it, which is great. It was cool. Really cool to be invited on. Thank you very much, Lance, and the guys. Everyone at Old World Podcast and Crimson Tower Studios. Here we go. Let's confirm that link. There you go. If you just head over to oldworldpodcast.com, that's what it says on the tin. It's the unofficial Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. They've had T.S. Lukart, who worked on the starter set and other adventures for Cubicle 7, and no doubt they're going to have many more great episodes. They've got a cool little actual play going on, and it's a lot of fun. So go and check them out. Mainly because I was on the last episode. I had a lot to say. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. I have listened to it back. It's a bit weird to listen to it back, as always. But it was a lot of fun. So it's cool. I think also on their website, they've got some really handy tools for converting characters to 4th edition Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. So if you go and check those out, you can also get some extra freebies that will help you get up to speed with 4th edition if you have characters from 1st, 2nd, or 3rd edition. Loads of cool stuff. So that was really good. Thumbs up and a thing. Cool. Smiley face. Sorry, I'm getting Facebook notifications at the same time. Oh, and here's a link to the free stuff. Hey, Eggle, how are you doing? Glad you could join us. I saw you on Discord earlier on. So yeah, I'm here live, and I'm going to talk to you about a few things. Instead of a Star Trek episode, what I'm considering doing is recording a Let's Draw episode. I've got a special light that I think will help illuminate the drawing as I'm doing it. And I was going to kind of take the opportunity to have a bit of time to finish off the maps for the Mountain Toll Keep. Great idea. Okay, cool. Right. Well, it seems that some people are interested. Please be maps. Yes, please. Let's draw. I may work on a project too. Well, now, this live episode won't be a drawing episode. That I can't at the moment because of my Wi-Fi situation, as I have spoken about on many of these episodes. So I'm still suffering from a bit of a cold. I can't have multiple cameras feeding at the same time. If you wanted me to, I could take the camera or one of the cameras that I have and flip it around and see if we could see if I'm drawing. However, I've watched back some of these videos and occasionally it gets a bit clippy and not greatest of qualities. So instead I thought we'd have, a bit of a chat first, and then I'd end the live episode and record a Let's Draw. So it's a bit of better quality. I can talk to camera as well as yeah, my best Bob Ross impression. Unfortunately, as you can see, I don't think I'll ever get to a real impression of Bob Ross. But hey, happy little accidents. Yeah, so we'll do all the usual stuff. We'll have a bit of a chat to you guys about what you've been playing and what you've been doing, and I can talk to you about some of the stuff that I've been up to for Garblag Games, some of the stuff coming up. So, all of the usual things, as well as the Old World podcast, obviously. So if you are new to the channel, obviously watching this back after the live broadcast, then please don't forget to check out our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Obviously, you're on YouTube. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you subscribe, don't forget to press the little bell icon. It'll give you a little notification every time we do a new video. As anyone in the chat room right now could tell you, we're putting out more videos. There's more content. We're having a great time doing it. And importantly, that means more stuff for you guys, more to watch, more to get involved with. So that's all cool. Excuse me. There's been a lot going on, obviously. Unfortunately, we can't do Star Trek tonight. However, last week we filmed... let's have a look. Sorry, I'm getting a comment here. Okay, cool. So last week we filmed the first proper episode of Scion RPG show, Vostok's Chance. Colin and the crew came in. John and Sam joined in for their first episode on that series. Good to have John back on the channel. John's a long-time role player, friend of ours, and actually runs LARP events here in the UK, which have been to great recommendation. Although I don't tend to LARP these days. I did it for a while, but not. Yes, you're a machine. There's no way I could keep up with your release schedule. Well, we've managed to get it to a stage where there's minimal editing, which is the key. A lot of the hijinks we have, I now just kind of leave in, because I think actually that's part of the fun of the experience that we're sharing with you, is just people role playing as you're really role playing. There are a lot of very polished shows. You've got things like Critical Role. You've got ones where people turn it into radio plays and things, and those are awesome. But we try to create a bit more of an authentic role-playing experience for you to watch and join in on. And hopefully the stories are good. The quality has got a lot better. And Vostok's Chance is actually so far, even though it's only got 2 episodes, the only show with good sound all the way through. Unfortunately, I made a few mistakes on some of our recent videos where I was using the sound equipment for this kind of broadcast, and that defaulted the settings in my broadcasting software, which I record with, to a different setting, and therefore the sound was not as good. So I've learnt my lesson now, as I think I mentioned last week on the live show, and I know how to check everything's working properly. So that's good. So Vostok's Chance, 2 episodes in, 1 character creation, 1 the first episode, and the characters all came together. We've got a kind of adventurer woman, daughter of a lord, goth and dark. We've got another girl who's kind of bright and exuberant, skater girl. We've got a chap who's had a very good life, rounded life, and is quite happy with that, but interested in what's this TV show that they've been signed up for is, and we've got a military guy. Evening all, happy birthday, Pete. Oh, thank you, Alex. Thank you for joining us here on Garblag Games live on YouTube. What you'll see right now, however, is the camera is going through the condensation phase of the evening. And we'll get like 10 minutes of a bit of condensation, and then it'll go away. As my body and the radiator warming up this room, it's creating a bit of condensation on the camera lens, unfortunately. And the best thing to do with that is to just leave it. If you touch it and do anything, you just make it worse. So, yes. Anyway, Sion, we've got a military chap, British military chap, who's quite prim and proper. It's giving you a healthy aura. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those original series Star Trek moments where they look at Uhura and there's kind of Vaseline on the lens and they're like, oh, or Kirk's about to kiss her, kind of thing. So yeah, a healthy aura or a sweaty aura, maybe, I don't know. Is the weather bad down there? Cold and horrible. It's I can't really complain today. It's been sort of middling. It's a bit cold. It's February. But the snow came and went. The really cold weather came and went. Apparently we're going to get a bit more, but right now it's just kind of cold, but not horrible. So it's okay. It's just the nature of the studio or garage. Unfortunately, it's not cold and wonderful, more like. Yes. It's quite a clear evening, actually, so it might be frosty in the morning. We'll see. Also, last week we recorded episode 8, I believe, of Flint and Steel, the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay actual play YouTube show. The only one you need to watch. We had a lot of fun. Guys are continuing their Flint and Steel. It's called the Old World Podcast, guys. So Lance, if you're still on, they got me to shout on the broadcast. I don't know if you guys heard it. The challenge I have is I can't do it just Flint and Steel like I do on the show. I have to do it's become like a little saying. It's weird. I edited one episode and put the sound on the other, and I said it in exactly the same rhythm. So I have to say, hello and welcome to Garblag Games, from the whole beginning, because it's weird. Yeah. So, and I listened back and I didn't peek out the audio or anything. So that was okay. So the guys were okay. It was the whole intro. It was I suddenly felt a bit rude. I felt like I was taking over their show for a minute. And there were a few plugs for Garblag Games. But obviously, the whole point is, and I think Lance made a very good point, sort of, off camera, as it were, when we were chatting on the weekend, that the Warhammer community is very embracing and very open, and I am more than happy to share and point people in the direction of other resources, other shows, and other games. I'm proud of what we put out, and I think people will come back and watch Flint of Steel. But also, people need to go and find more Warhammer love, and the Old World Podcast is a great place to find that. But yeah, Flint and Steel's rocking along. I think we're going to probably have a bunch. Yes, we all love Warhammer. Yes, we do. So I think we're going to have a bunch more episodes. Maybe 5, maybe 6. I'm not sure. We'll see how the guys get on. I've got an idea. Obviously, I have an idea of where it's going. And as anyone who's watching Series 2 knows, we're building up to them attempting to rescue Gunther Zeus. Just got through all of Season 1 now, so I am all caught up. Oh, you'd watched Season 2 and you've gone back to watch Season 1? Or anyway. So Gunther Zeus was played by Ben in the first season, who had to move away from the area, so we had to write the character. Okay, cool. We had to write the character out, but instead of just killing him off or something, I felt that it could be a good, they're dealing with gangsters. There's always issues of kind of kidnapping and that kind of thing. So I thought it would be a good plot arc for Season 2 for the characters to be trying to rescue him from wherever he's been captured. Excuse me. I wanted to go out of Nuln. We'd done a whole season in the city. Can someone confirm for me, is the End Time separate from Age of Sigmar, or a prequel, as it were, I've been trying to look up the lore. The End Times finished Warhammer Fantasy as we knew it. That was a series of adventures, models, not adventures, sorry, battles and miniatures released by Games Workshop to officially end the Warhammer Fantasy world as it was. Age of Sigmar was the rebirth, literally, of the universe in the mortal realms, with all the parts dotted around. So you've got like Shyish and various other realms where different forces come from. Cubicle 7 will be creating an Age of Sigmar role-playing game, and that's going to be coming out sometime this year. But they are very different things, although there's some things passed over. So Sigmar obviously survived through the end of the universe and the rebirth into the new world, and I think he kind of heads up the the forces of law or something. I'm not an aficionado on Age of Sigmar. There are people I know who are much more knowledgeable on that than me. And at first, I must say, I had the kind of typical reaction to this and felt quite aggrieved by the end of the world, but obviously, some of them, Alex, Nagash goes through, obviously the Chaos Gods are there. They kept some of the major themes, but they wanted to restyle some of the armies, make things a little bit more interesting and not sort of more standard fantasy as people might look at it. Hang on, just seen something that needs rescuing. Yeah, please need rescuing. Okay, that's okay. Right, there's a good fat book. Exalted should do it. There we go. Right, sorry. Okay, I saw a nice book being squashed by a bad book, so I had to move that book. No, it's the rebirth of the universe. So literally, the Warhammer world has ended, and the Age of Sigmar world has continued, except for in other licensed products. So you've got Warhammer Total War, which Roger is a big fan of and plays all the time. If you go on Discord, you're probably playing Warhammer Total War Warhammer 2. And obviously, they've licensed out to Cubicle 7 both worlds for role-playing games. And what's great is that 4th edition has harkened back to 1st and 2nd edition, mostly 2nd, with a little bit of 1st. And I think 1 or 2 bits from 3rd edition thrown in. I'll save the question for tonight. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I've lost track of where I was. I think I was talking about Flint and Steel and where it was going. So, they're rescuing Gunther Zeus, who was played by Ben. Ben had to move away. And I thought that was a good arc for season 2 after a romp around the city, taking care of chaos cultists. Let's go out of the city. Why would they need to leave the city? What would drive them out of the city right now? Something they really hold dear has been taken away, and therefore they need to go across. Hello, viewers. Welcome to Garblag Games on YouTube Live. Hello. We just wanted to drop in saying Take 20 D&D. Hello, thank you. Welcome to Garblag Games. Please stay a while. Join us for a bit of chat. We will have a great stream. The guys here are fantastic. We always have a good chat. So welcome and stay with us a while. We're just talking about our Warhammer Fantasy roleplay show that we do on the channel. It's called Flint and Steel. Currently in season 2, using 4th edition. So yes, the guys are now exploring the space. Oh, do you have any plans on running any Cubicle 7 more foot adventures on the channel? We have. We do. We are. It's going now. Go check it out. Are you talking to me or are you talking to Take 20 D&D? Because I think they're another channel. Popping in to say hello. Oh, I see what you mean. Do you mean the published adventures? It's a good question. So, Bogenhafen has been mentioned in the recent season, but I'll just leave that there. I'll throw that out there. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so season 2. Yes, that's what I meant. Okay, cool. Well, my players can watch this so I'm trying to be subtle about it, but maybe that was a hint. And no doubt someone in the chat, Lance, can probably tell you what I mean by that. So we're going to play that season out, and then after that we're going to be doing Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm going to run a Planescape series based in the city of Sigil and beyond, in all the realms of existence in the D&D world. That really is getting a bit of a glow around me now, isn't there? Look at that, that's beautiful. So yes, Planescape, excuse me. And we've got an eclectic bunch of characters, or we've already lined out the kind of what characters we want to go with. So I could have a bit more time to plan, because there's such a breadth of characters that you can pick. Excuse me. I wanted to have a bit of time to plan. So we have, what do we have? We have an Aarakocra Tempest Cleric. Yeah, I think that's right. Tempest Domain. We have a Gif Rogue who's going to aim to be a swashbuckler. And Gifs, if you don't know, are giant hippopotamus people who are very militaristic and like medals and uniforms. And they like to have a crew. And he will have been on a Spelljammer ship, little wink to Spelljammer setting there, and basically will have stowed away on another vessel and met our kobold bard who's been hiding away, who'd been kidnapped from Faerun, which is the world of Forgotten Realms. And at some point they will meet up with an Aasimar paladin, and a devotion paladin, I think, is the goal for that one. Half-elf bronze dragon sorcerer, and we've got one more, a tabaxi druid. So it's a very cool bunch, a very creative bunch, and they're going to come from different places and different worlds, but something's going to draw them together and set them on a quest together. I'm really looking forward to that. I really like Planescape. I like the kind of freedom it creates, and the play with alignment. I know lots of people don't like alignment in Dungeons and Dragons, but they kind of really take a hold of it and use it as a meta device for the whole world. So that's pretty cool. So Dungeons and Dragons will be coming, but if you think about it, we do Flint and Steel every 2 weeks. We've got another 5 or 6 episodes, so we're talking another 12 weeks. So it's not going to be till maybe not that long, but maybe sort of 10 weeks. So maybe April time. I'm looking forward to that one. I just like running games in general. It's a lot of fun. We've got Vostok's Chance going on now, as I said earlier on. And then once Flint and Steel finishes, Lawrence is going to switch over to our Tuesday night schedule for filming, but Wednesday night for release. And he's going to do a Dark Heresy first edition adventure with some of the usual troublemakers in there, no doubt. No doubt Roger will be part of that game. And that's going to be in the first edition. And what we're going to do, I think, Lawrence has got lots of ideas. Lawrence knows the 40k universe, Warhammer 40k. He knows it so well. He's exactly the right person to be running that kind of game. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to go on our Discord. He's going to detail out a few options for what the story might be, or what the campaign core idea might be. And I'm going to ask people for their thoughts and their votes, and maybe to have a bit of a influence into the story itself. No Wrath and Glory. No Wrath and Glory. They're much more comfortable. And the reason is there's a lot more material that's been produced for Dark Heresy. And Lawrence just knows that intimately. So we thought that would be a better choice. I know Wrath and Glory is new and has just come out. And, it's been out for a little while now. And people might be interested in that. But we know that there's an audience for Dark Heresy. We've put a poll on the YouTube channel. You can now do like status updates and polls on YouTube. And Dark Heresy was the highest voted as a game people were looking forward to. So that was pretty cool. So we thought, let's go with it. That'll be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I won't get to play in that one, but I'll get to watch it, which is fun. It's nice now that I actually have shows on my own channel that I get to watch recreationally. It's quite cool. It's a bit weird, but it's cool. And that will mean that every week from April time, we will be putting out 2 videos, 2-hour-ish videos of role-playing actual plays. And that means we'll have 4 shows. We can have 4 shows running at any one time. So we're going to do those for a while. And then towards the end of the year, I will do probably a Zweihander RPG game set in my setting, Black Road, before which I will have updated the PDF you can get on Drive-Thru RPG. And we'll be using that world for a Zweihander setting. I also want to go back to Traveller at some point because I absolutely love Traveller as a game. Of course, Adam, little heart from Adam. If you guys don't, Adam is from the Zweihander Grim and Perilous Studios team, currently working their butts off, getting things on Amazon, creating expansions, doing all kinds of stuff. Yes, Pat, Traveller. Mongoose Traveller, 2nd edition, though. I don't know if you're more of a traditionalist. But I love Traveller. The system is great. Character creation is fantastic. It fits my world that I've created, Eternal Reaches, very well. I've got a little setting on the Patreon that people can go and get for free in the free stuff section down the left-hand side. Yeah, I tried Traveller once. Character died. Good one, Eggle. Good one. It's at TravellerCon. You can get a badge to say I survived character creation, because as long as you can still die in character creation, it's original enough. You can. It's much harder nowadays to die in character creation, but you can die in character creation, which I think is great. But character creation itself in Traveller is it's like a mini game in and of itself. And we did a series, Eternal Reaches, which we didn't quite properly finish, but we did round off to a point. Unfortunately, because it was in the old days, last year before, I think, the sound quality is not great. And I'd like to do a new series from the beginning with the good sound, with the nice studio, character creation, go into some adventures, nice kind of space romp kind of thing. Last time it was quite heavy and there was a big meta plot and all this kind of thing. I think nice, fun space romp in Traveller will be a great, fun show for people. And I think there'll be a nice audience for that as well. So I think a lot of our early subscribers were for our Traveller show. And Mongoose were really good. They put a link to our show on their website. They obviously thought it was good enough to do that, which is cool. So we got a lot of traffic directly from Mongoose Publishing, which was really good of them. That was our first big kind of link to a company, which was really cool. So lots of fun memories of Traveller. We kind of made the transition into the studio halfway through the Traveller series, and it wasn't anywhere near the kind of finished, even though it's not finished, but near the state that we have now. We didn't have the great microphones and all the kit, which is down to you guys who watch us and support us on our Patreon, which is a handy segue into talking about our Patreon. Now, obviously, we put a lot of time and love and effort into doing this, and we love doing that. I think I was doing this when we had 5 people watching, or 10 people watching, or 50 people watching. We've now got 1,111 subscribers, 1111, which is just fantastic. And we had a little dip. This is what happens with Patreon. When you get to month end and it comes in, you normally find that a few people sort of drop off. And then you build it back up the next month and you go above where you were, and then it drops down a little bit, and then it goes back up and drops down a little bit. So we are just under 40 Patreons now. But all of you guys supporting us are fantastic. Thank you very much for your support. It makes all of this possible. This kit, all of this soundproofing, which I've actually got. Let me show you. I've got 3 more big boxes of it waiting to go up Just the No More Nails didn't arrive at the same time. So that's going to go up. We're going to make this studio a fully fledged radio station, as John described it on Scion. And I got a few more camera grips and mounts as well, so that the central kind of camera hub, which I've shown on various shows, is a bit more stable. It's really good right now, but I want it to be stable whilst flexible, so I can move bits without everything moving. So it's there's a few more bits coming, but all of that is down to you guys. It's absolutely amazing and humbling that you guys support us in the way that you do. Now, if you're watching this back, you're not one of the guys on the chat, and most of you have heard this before, so apologies. But what we do on the Patreon is I create maps, and I turn those into adventures, and then sometimes we'll play them on the show and use the maps for battle mats and that kind of thing to show you in the show what they can be used for. We also show videos on there. We've done some early releases of things. We've got D&D character sheets that I've done in a dungeon theme. We've got background to some of the stories. As I said earlier on, I've given away a traveler setting, which is in there in the free stuff. When you go on, if you go on the Patreon page, down the left-hand side, there are kind of your categories where I've tagged the premium tags, featured tags, sorry. And in there, we've got channel updates, we've got free stuff, we've got initiate tier and adventurer tier plus rewards. So all the stuff is kind of categorized. So if you are of a particular tier or you want some free stuff and you want to go and check it out, you can. And there's stuff on there. And I thought I'd show you, I've kind of printed off some of the PDFs that I've created recently. And tonight I'm going to film an episode of actually drawing on, one of the maps, finishing one of the maps. But we've got, so basically we create these, which are Garblag Games adventure locations. I would think I was a bit optimistic by writing 001, but hey, I do lots of file naming and stuff, and I just want to keep it all clean. So this is GGAL 001, The Abandoned Tavern by Garblag Games, Peter Lattimore, blah, blah, blah. And in these, what you get is, this is maybe a little bit tricky to show. So you've got your front map and your little statement of intent, what it is, what we do. If you then look, we've got sort of how to get there, the surrounding area. Then we start to go into describing the maps, and all the different sections of the dungeon. Let's go that way. And then we've got, even more detail. We're sort of naming things, telling you where stuff is, bit of descriptive stuff. And then I've got adventure hooks for in and out, as I like to say, and a nice high-res map at the end. So we've got a couple of those up already. One of those is on DriveThruRPG as well, so if you don't want to become a patron, which I understand, but you do maybe want to try one of them out, have a look at it, you can go and get one of those. They're $1.99 on DriveThruRPG. We've also just done the Smugglers Hideout, which is a 2-level warehouse in a city. Oh, thanks, Lance. Yeah, I appreciate that. And that one is a color map, as you can see. Sometimes I do a bit of coloring. I can show you the map there. There you go. There's the map. So we've got a warehouse with the pavement area. There's a walkway down to the canal side. There's a bridge over the canal. And then here we've got the same canal side here. But underneath the bridge, there's a secret entrance into an underground storage area with a safe, which is kind of over here. Guard area, warehouse, etc. And all of that's in there. I've got, let's have a look. I've got, we've got, different adventure hooks, the Thieves Guild tryouts, canal creature, item retrieval, accidental contraband, and inconvenient truths. And each of those has got like a little blurb about why a group of adventurers might be going there, or what they might find in there that leads them onwards to a next adventure. And the goal is that by the end of the year, I should have, I'm hoping to do 2 or 3 of these a month, I should say, 2 or 3 a month. And all Adventurer Tier Plus, which is $4 or more, get all of them. So as soon as I do one, you get one. And Initiate Tier get to vote each month on one that they get. And Initiate Tier is $1 a month. So for $1 a month, you can not only support the channel and help us to do all of this, but you can get one of these as well, which hopefully you'll find useful, interesting, and a useful tool for as a Games Master or player, just for ideas, even if you don't want to use it for maps and things. I'm just trying to finish off the Mountain Toll Keep in order to do the vote for the Initiate Tier patrons as to whether they want the Smugglers Hideout or the Mountain Toll Keep this month for their reward. Then I'll be doing a few more. And again, in March, we'll do another vote for the Initiates to see what one they get. Oh, there's some kind of animal outside the studio. Anyway, so... Oh, there's geese or something. Okay, so that's the ones published already. We give away maps as well. So often I'll give away the maps when they're done to try and get people to come along, join in the fun. This is the Mountain Toll Keep. This is the latest one. And I had a lot of fun doing this one. You know, I don't know which way people have normally been seeing it. So I think a bit like that or something. And that is nearly done. I'm just currently, and I think I can just show you, I'm just currently working on the tower levels and the bridging across the top. So there you can see I've started working on it. Excuse me. Yes, can still tell I'm not 100%. And that will be up soon for all Adventurer Tier Plus, and then Initiates will get to vote on which one they want. Anyway, that's a bit about the Patreon. There's loads of stuff on there. Go check it out. Let me just give you... Oh, whoops. I somehow put a space in there. That's weird. Just trying to share the link with you guys. com/Garblag Games. Garblag Games. It would help if I could type. Not liking that? Can you use that link? No, doesn't seem we can. Okay, never mind. If anyone wants to put a link in there for me, I seem to be having a bit of a problem doing that. That would be cool. Yeah, that's going a bit weird. Okay. Anyway, so has that worked? I think that's worked. Let's see. Yes, I've just clicked on it. It's taking you there. Thank you, Egil. Much appreciated. Obviously, I was doing something wrong. I'm trying to do this and that all at the same time, so bear with me. Story of my life. So as I showed you earlier on, we've got more insulation. So I'm going to be putting that up behind. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this curtain here on the wall. Yeah, and you can see the bare brick there. Don't like it. With more of this. So we'll have this going all the way back here behind the shelving, which eventually I will replace with some nice Kallax from IKEA, I think. This cloth here will then go behind the Games Master shelving unit, which currently at the moment is causing a bit of damp in some of my books, which is driving me insane. Yeah, that's the overview page. If you scroll down, you can see on the left the featured tags. So I'm going to put that behind the shelving unit behind the Games Master seat. And then we will be doing sound insulation around the walls behind. This does mean I have to take down posters and things, but what I'm going to try and do is get better shelving units and have games and boxes kind of standing visibly, and we'll have a few sort of miniatures and bigatures and statues and things dotted around to make the background a little bit more interesting while you're watching us play. I know it's not the major thing, but it's nice to have a bit of a fun backdrop. So slowly but surely turning it into a better studio and viewing experience for you guys. I'm going to possibly try out a Wi-Fi extender a bit later on. I think in a couple of months' time I'll give it a go, but at the moment this seems to be working, so I think we will carry on doing broadcasts a bit like this for a discussion episode before I go the whole hog. I may be moving house at the end of the year, and I know that's a way off, but the main stipulation on my next property is that the garage is on the side of the house, not 50 meters away. So, and in that case, I'll be able to have Wi-Fi, we'll be able to stream, I'll be able to do a lot more stuff, because at the moment, I currently have to reel a massive power cable out here every time I want to do anything. And not having to do that will be a massive boon to the channel. I'll be able to nip in, make some more videos every now and then, and it won't be disturbance to family life as well, where it's really a whole upheaval for the whole evening. So that's all cool. Just in case you guys thought I was just stepped through there and my house is over there. It's not, unfortunately. It's kind of over that way a bit. But yeah, so it's cool. What else is going on? What are you guys doing? Is anyone? Oh, make sure you get a suitable. Yes, absolutely. That's going to be very important, because I don't think I can stop doing this now. It's become an important part of my life, and also a great outlet for all my creative juices, and a great way to join in with such a good community. You guys are fantastic, and we've got friends all around the world now, so it's really cool. We're still going to St Albans Comic Con in July. I just need to get back in communication with them, see if they've finished figuring out where everyone is going to be in the building. Maybe not as directly important for you guys, but for any viewers in the UK after we've finished the broadcast tonight, please go and check out St Albans Comic Con. It's the 14th of July in St Albans Arena. It's a nice big building. Excuse me. And hopefully we're going to be taking over the basement and turning it into a role-playing area with maybe some board games, a bit of war games. But we're going to have some pre-bookable adventures, and then I'm going to have Garblag's Grand and Gruesome Gulag, I think I'm going to call it, or something along those lines. It's going to be a big Dungeons and Dragons adventure where people can just turn up, pick up a character sheet and start playing, and literally their character just, it's as if they've been teleported in by some evil wizard, and him and his evil buddies are watching a poor group of first level characters trying to survive their way through this elaborate big dungeon. If you die, you get a new character and he gets teleported right back into the mix. So it's like a constant rolling drop in, drop out game. If someone gets bored and wants to walk away, their character dies in a horrible pit trap, and a new one comes along and gets teleported in. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of a way to have a role-playing game that's a bit more drop-in, because obviously it's that kind of event where people might be walking through and interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is obviously the big name that most people know about. But then we'll have other tables where we've got other games going on. So I think that'd be cool. What else are we planning for the future? Currently thinking about doing a spin-off show from Flint and Steel, which is based on potentially a couple of characters going off on their own, and us trying to figure out how to do online games, so streamed games as well, so that I can build up the capability for doing that with other people, but also so that maybe Ben, who's moved away, and Kevin, who plays Siegbert on Flint and Steel, who's moving away, Granite and Brass. Oh, what if you had a halfling and a priest of Sigmar? What would you call that? Hammer and foot? Foot and hammer? No. So I think we're gonna have a look at that, and then potentially our friends in America on the Old World podcast might be able to do the trip the other way. Hammer and chicken. Oh, brilliant! This is Hammer and Chicken. That'd be hilarious. You must be a vicious DM when off-screen your players keep moving away. Absolutely. Hey, fat ass Frodo, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining us here on Garblag Games on YouTube Live. I'm Pete, and we're just having a bit of a chat. I'm about to do a Let's Draw video where I finish off one of my maps for my Patreon, and we're just having a bit of a chat with the guys about what goes on the channel now and what's going on in the future. Yes, I'm not a vicious. I don't know. Am I a vicious DM? What do you guys think? The guys have survived largely intact. In episode 8, Alvin did nearly die. He was very close to losing all his wounds. So close that he then kind of pulled out all the stops. And if you haven't seen it, I'll stop there and you should go and watch it. Been lurking for a while and watching your shows. Love the Warhammer stuff. Any show titles do need to be based on ability to be yelled dramatically. Absolutely, fat ass Frodo. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for watching. And I'm glad you've joined us. Okay, not particularly vicious, I would say. No, you're pretty fair. Yeah, I mean, we're trying to have fun. I know it's Warhammer and everyone's like, you're going to die of like the galloping trots or something. But we've got like heavily armored dwarves. There's not much I can do. I've been playing with a guy who'd summon in cursed bears whenever you strayed from his story plan. Okay. Some hefty rails there then, maybe. So you wandered off the story and then suddenly, boom, cursed bears appeared and attacked you. Okay, Jinxio, well, that sounds like that was a fun adventure. It's interesting, isn't it? We all have different GMing. Well, you couldn't even get that far. Okay. Well, that sounds like fun. He wasn't that fun to play with, no. You need to put them up against wizards. Those are terrible in 4th. Yes. I do remember towards the late middle of season 1, they go up against the Chaos. What was his name? I can't even remember now. He was an evil wizard in the first season, and he does like a spell which like did a burst of power and hurt everyone for like Sewer Muck Stabbing Face. That's the one. That was his name. Krell. That was his name. Krell, and he did like a blast of magic. Kurt's close, Krell, and they all got hit for like 8 wounds, no armor, no toughness or something like that. And they just all looked at me like, shit. And I was like, yeah, magic's bad. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think there may have to be some magic. And, funny you should say that. Perhaps they've just wandered into a room where someone's doing some evil magic. But hey, we'll see what happens in episode 9. Fimir do like a bit of demonology. But I won't say any more. So that's cool. Yeah, it's interesting. You're striking the balance between steering a story and laying down rail tracks. It's kind of it's a balance you have to strike. I've been looking at ways to curtail advantage. Magic is top of my list. Ranged attacks, shoot them from afar, and they lose advantage. I need to keep a track of that better. We did a combat in episode 8, but it didn't get out of control. So it's good to have a think about that. Shooting is second. Yes. So we'll see how that agree. Cool. We'll see how it goes. It's just a lot of fun at the moment. Someone gets killed and Alvin gets showered in blood, and then Bagric blocks stuff with his shield and then brutally murders someone. It kind of progresses in that way, really. And it's fun for everyone. And they, Roger's shouting Kazood, and Alvin's trying to look like some sort of Greco warrior. We spoke about this. The way to stop powerful dwarfs is to put important quest items on high shelves. Yes. I like your dwarves. Little thing there, Leon. Very good. Yeah, the Warhammer way or the other way. Kazood! Yeah, I can't do it like Roger can. It's his thing, and it's good fun. And hopefully it doesn't top out the mics. Cool. Yeah. So what else? What's going on? Has anyone watching been playing anything interesting? If you have, put it down. If not, don't worry. I'm really looking forward to Star Trek coming along. It's a shame we're playing tonight, but it's understandable. When someone is seriously ill who's running the game, you can't really play. But I'm going to be playing a Cardassian character on that. I'm going to be a science officer, and he's going to be arrogant bastard who knows that he's cleverer than everybody else. It's just he's just made that way, and everyone has a position in the hierarchy, and his is at the intellectual top, which is chief science officer. He doesn't want to be captain. Lunch is done. Got to drop off. Looking forward to the mapping. Okay, Lance. I hope the rest of your day goes well. Thanks for joining us. And everyone, go and check out the Old World podcast. Lance is a great GM and hosts a great show. So have a listen to that. Been playing Wifrit 4 in playtesting an RPG I've been working on. Oh, we've been working on, but not had much time this month to do any real gaming. I know life does get busy, doesn't it? And it gets in the way, but we all do what we can to try and get a bit of gaming in. I find it's my release valve from, stress of work and all those kind of things of life. Getting set up to do some more collaboration with the Best Left Buried guys. Yeah, I had a look at this. So Best Left Buried is he did a Twitter poll on this, didn't he? And I think fantasy horror one. It's a really interesting little role-playing game about people going into these kind of dark holes in the ground and digging up horrible things. And I can see why people said fantasy horror, but hence it's called Best Left Buried. Some interesting... it's like a streamlined, simple, old-school, role-playing game. It's a nice little PDF with some great artwork, some very evocative artwork. And Pat's been working on some maps and other things with the Best Left Buried guys. Over on Twitter, if you go and Foot the Mountain and, forgive me, Pat, who's the Best Left Buried guys on Twitter, put that on there. Just let the guys know so they can go and check them out. Because there's some cool stuff. I had a bit of a read, thinking about doing a 1 or 2 shot adventure on the show of Best Left Buried. That's it, Jelly Muppet. At Jelly Muppet. Entertaining that idea. But at the moment, we've got a lot of sort of dark fantasy stuff going on. We've got a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of modern magic kind of thing. I want to play around with a few other games, try some different things if we can. We've got 40k coming, so we've got sort of gothic sci-fi, horrible, murderous death. But I look over at my shelf often, and I've got lots of things on there. Earth Dawn. It's still sort of dark. Exalted, blimey. Still got Exalted. Fading Suns. That's quite cool. Deadlands. Conspiracy X. I don't know if anyone's ever played Conspiracy X. I love that game. It's basically like the X-Files, but you there's an extended character creation process at the beginning where you kind of all figure out your characters, and then based on your characters you get a load of resources with which you build your base, and the base construction bit, that's a lot of fun as well. We've had a lot of fun playing that game before. So we're just trying to think of all different games, and obviously the guys have got PBTA and some other things that they're interested in running on the channel. So the advantage of having a kind of extended cast now of, I think we're about nearly 20 people on the show at one point or another. Excuse me. Means we've got options for other games as well. So if you guys really want to see something played, and as long as it's something we'll all have heard of and get our hands on, then there's probably someone willing to try it out. And once we get the online gaming side of it sorted out, Ben will be back on the channel, and I'm hoping that he will do his Starfinder game again. Ben, if you're watching at some point, and I will get to play Sobo Hitty Glove once more, my Vesk mercenary soldier. Blech. This is why they call me Hitty Glove. That was a lot of fun. If you haven't watched the Starfinder, we did a one shot. Roger and I playing, which turned into a 2-shot, and then Simon, not Simon from Flint and Steel, but Simon from Grim and Perilous, our Zweihander game, joined us on the second part, and Ben ran a really cool little adventure for us, and that was a lot of fun. It was funny. Again, the sound isn't as good as it is now on the channel, but that we were in the studio, so it was better. So I'd advise you to go and have a look at it, check it out. That was a lot of fun. I got to play as well, which was novel at the time. As you guys may figure out, I do a lot of running games, and I just enjoy being a games master. But occasionally I get to play a game, and then I try and make a bit of a character of it. As you'll see if you watch Starfinder, Sobo is interesting, and I would like to play him again. It's pretty cool. Okay, right. What's the time? Oh, it's gone 8 o'clock. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. It's good. Always good to chat with you guys. I am now going to go and try and set up and record a Let's Draw episode, at least something to give you guys an idea of that kind of content. If it's something you want to see and you'd like me to do more of, I may release it first on the Patreon for free, but on the Patreon, just so people can have a look. And because it's map related and tied to the Patreon, I think that kind of makes sense. But what I'll be doing is finishing off the Mountain Toll Keep, hopefully, and you guys can have a look at that. And then, from there, I will see if I can fit in some more Let's Draw videos. If people find them interesting, it'll just be me chatting a bit aimlessly, but about the map and what I'm drawing and the kind of thing I'm trying to make and create. A bit more about the Patreon and what I want to do in the future. So please don't forget to go and check out Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Come join us on our Discord. We're having a lot of fun on there. We're chatting away. Pat may use that for a bit of a collaboration project to have a channel on there. So if people are interested to join that, we've got a map channel. We've got different channels for different conversations. So there's loads of stuff going on there. That's cool. Come and join us on our Patreon. Even if you just want to look at free stuff, that's fine. We've got free stuff. It's there for a reason. It's a good easy place for me to put some things that I can kind of give to people. We've got stuff on our Redbubble. We've got go to Redbubble, put in Garblag games, and you can find mugs like this one I'm drinking from here, which has got the Abandoned Tavern. I need to do a few more mugs actually, with a few logos, a few words, a few statements. I might do a Kazood mug, that wraps all the way around the mug with a big exclamation mark at the end. We've got a Flint and Steel mug, but I think I might do another one that's on either side, and one side is like the words being shouted or something like that. Any ideas for like merchandise you want from us, let us know. All that kind of stuff, we're really up for it. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are, as I said, at 1,111, and the more people that join us, the more we can do, the more that other companies who make role-playing games will be interested in working with us to play their games, show off their stuff, and show that to you. So the last message I always have is please go check out the Old World podcast. Really great show, great guys, really good listen. I'm on it, and I'm pretty awesome, so that's cool. Go check out Modifius. They have been really generous and given us materials for our Star Trek show. They've given us rulebook, they've given us PDFs, they've given us dice. Go check them out. They've just announced that they're releasing the Alpha Quadrant book New Life and New Civilizations, or something to that effect, an adventure book, and the Sciences Division book, which I'm going to get because my science officer, Cardassian, will be very interested in that one. So go and check those people out. Help us by feeding back to those that have helped us, that Garblag Games has shown you something about their game. You know, the Zweihander guys, you know, we've worked with them as well. They're a great bunch of guys, and they're doing really well as well now. So go and check them out as well. But anyway, I will leave you guys now, and hopefully I will see you soon on one of our crazy adventures. So bye-bye.